Hey, guys, it is Travis from Build with Travis, and I am once again trying out some live stuff. I, not too long ago, picked up this set on clearance I think I got this at Walmart, and I think I actually grabbed it for a friend of mine as well. I've got a friend, well, husband and wife. They're both my friends, but she is really big into Harry Potter, so she's collecting a lot of the Harry Potter sets. So I picked up one of these for me and one of these for them, and it was on clearance at Walmart. Now, I picked it up for her because she's a huge Harry Potter fan. I picked it up for me because I thought this would have some great pieces for Dungeons and Dragons. I actually have some of these hippogriffs from Harry Potter sets, but I don't have a white one. The ones that I have seen before, and at least the ones that I've ended up with, are gray, and so it's kind of cool to have a white one. But I thought I would just go ahead. This is one that I have been wanting to build, and my girls and I are actually playing through a dungeon right now. It's an old campaign called the Sunless Citadel. If you've ever heard of the Sunless Citadel, I've actually had my two daughters. This was their first dungeon, and so they were going through the Sunless Citadel, and the end battle in that kind of takes place in this. It's underground, but it takes place in this area that has a lot of trees and foresty area, and so I thought these trees would be excellent for part of the Sunless Citadel campaign, but also anytime you can get trees that are just easy to put together, they are great fodder if you use Legos for Dungeons and Dragons, because you can just easily set up something and throw some trees on there, and then you've got a battlefield, you got a forest, you got whatever you may need for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And if you're a dungeon master like myself, sometimes I don't plan out as well as I should. And so I've got a drawer that is just trees and fauna and flowers and bushes and that type of stuff. And so I can easily just pull those out and be like, boom, here is a grove of trees, here's a forest, here's a path, here's something for you guys, some scenery for you guys to fight in or adventure in. And so that makes for an easy campaign. So there's the first figure that you build in this set, Hermione. I've ended up with a lot of Hermiones and Rons and Harry, because they come in like every one of the sets, but I don't really use them for Dungeons and Dragons. I guess you could. These little skirt pieces are nice. Usually those are cloths, and so it's nice to see Lego giving us a little plastic piece for her robes or her skirt. I've seen them used as skirts. She's obviously got her robe tied up, but I don't use a lot of the Harry Potter figures themselves in Dungeons and Dragons when I play with my kids. They do have some great, like the hair feature and the skirt and stuff, and the short legs make for great dwarves or gnomes if you're trying to, build some dwarves or gnomes. But I don't usually use a lot of the Harry Potter figures for Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. But the animals, and that's why I got this set, the animals and the creatures are perfect for Dungeons and Dragons, but also these trees. These trees are going to be great to use with Lego Dungeons and Dragons. Hello, Jackson. Hello, anyone that just tuned in. I am just kind of chit-chatting about using Lego for Dungeons and Dragons. I was talking about the Sunless Citadel. That is a campaign. If you're familiar with some of those old school Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, my daughters, I'm taking them through the Sunless Citadel. It's their first dungeon, and it's a pretty intense dungeon. And I didn't necessarily use everything, but they've really enjoyed it, and they're finally on the final battle. And the final battle, spoiler alert, it kind of takes place in an area where there are a lot of trees and grass and flowers and stuff growing. So I picked this set up on clearance, and it will be excellent for that battle, but also excellent for any time you're doing Dungeons and Dragons. If you use Lego for Dungeons and Dragons, or even just the knowledge of using miniatures, you always need a lot of scenery. If you really want to make it feel immersive, if you really want to make your characters feel like they're in the middle of a forest or in the middle of a farm, or a field, and you can do that with Lego trees and any type of the Lego leaf pieces or the plant pieces, and this one also comes with some cool mushrooms. You can never have too many mushrooms when you're doing Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, and these mushrooms actually glow in the dark. Lego has some, and there's a spider too, a Lego spider that glows in the dark. Lego's done really well with this glow in the dark pieces that come with their sets. The first time I remember running into some glow-in-the-dark set pieces was with Avatar. They may have had them before then, but I picked up some of the Avatar sets also for Dungeons and Dragons to use some of those creatures that came with them for various monsters in Dungeons and Dragons as miniatures. And so I remember they grew up, or they had glowing pieces with them. They may have been around before then, but that's the first time I picked up any. But like I said, I've got a drawer full of trees and shrubs and all of those type of things. That way you can just easily pull them out and you can go to town with your player characters, and you're always ready to whip up a quick battle scene or some type of forest to investigate, or in this case, in the Sunless Citadel, some of that is underground, and it's like underground areas where things are growing, trees are growing, and special plants that they've planted. And so you can never have too many trees. I've got a drawer that's just trees. I might show that in a minute before I stop doing a live stream, but pick these up mainly for the creatures that come with them. This guy's really cool. You'll have to help me out. My wife's more of a Harry Potter fan than I am, and I buy mostly the Harry Potter sets just for Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. I know we've got a hippogriff here, but I don't recall what these. I know they're the invisible horses, and only Harry and like Luna Lovegood. I know can't she see them? The invisible horse-looking guys. Hello, those who are just coming in. So, just building and talking Dungeons and Dragons. How many of you, and you can pipe in, how many of you actually use your miniature Legos for your miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons? Anyone else? I feel like it's getting a lot more popular these days. I have seen I've seen a dedicated channel even recently that's just about Lego Dungeons and Dragons and him building things to use with his campaigns, with his characters. I wasn't paying good attention here, so I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit on this. There we go. My kids have only known using Lego as miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons. I've not ever used anything else with them. My youngest daughter, who is 10, she's about to be 11, she has started playing with our church group. We've got a church group that plays Dungeons and Dragons. There's, I don't know, if we all get together and we all actually show up, there's probably about 13 or 14, maybe 15 of us. We actually had to be in two groups at one point because there were so many of us. But she started playing with them, and they don't use Lego. Our DM has he hooks his laptop up to a big screen that we've got and shows maps on screen. I think he uses World Anvil. There might be some other things he uses too, but so that's been a new experience for her. Actually, not playing with miniatures, but playing with something virtual. And so I know a lot of people do that with Dungeons and Dragons, and that's cool too. We enjoy that. It's cool how you can put up, picture of your character up there and see where they're at. But I'll always use Lego with my girls, and my wife's family this past Christmas. Actually, none of them. Well, I shouldn't say none of them. A couple of them have played Dungeons and Dragons here and there, but most of them had not. And they were like, "Let's do a campaign when we get together at Christmas time." So I ran a campaign with them and built up some Dungeons and Dragons set pieces, and we had a good time. It was fun doing some set pieces that were Christmas themed. We did battles in snow against snow golems, and the end boss was Krampus. And so we had, is it Krampus or Krampus? Krampus? Krampus. We had fun with that, or at least I had fun with that. Hopefully they had fun too. But there's our first tree coming together there. So we got some mushrooms, we got some trees, all great pieces to set up scenes for Dungeons and Dragons. You play Dungeons and Dragons, you may say something different. I'm a theater guy, so I say scenes. All your characters are going to be entering different scenes, and so that's what I usually call them. But there may be a better word for them. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was in high school, which I'm 41 now. You can count back the years and see how long ago that was. Started playing with Lego when I was probably 6 or 7, I would guess, back in the classic theme era of Lego. We had pirates and castle and city, and been building Lego ever since. Where is that other blue piece? But only been playing Dungeons & Dragons since I was in high school. And so that was something I had a lot of fun with. Played a little bit in college, and we started playing again with this church group, and probably been playing with them for 5 or 6 years now. And really wanted to introduce it to my kids, and found some campaigns online, some simple stuff that I could kind of modify and use with them to teach them the basics. But we have had a lot of fun with that. All right, so you go. So because of that, though, I have started collecting a lot of different odds and ends, and trees and fauna and all those type of things are always things that we're going to need. Well, I'm not going to sit here and bore you guys forever. How about I show you my drawers with some of my Lego Dungeons & Dragons pieces in it, and then I'll finish up this set on my own, because you don't want to sit here and just listen to me yakking, not show you anything cool, because it's a slow process to build. But if you're a Lego builder, you know that. So, in fact, speaking of Dungeons & Dragons, those are the Funko Pops from Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves, which was I know there were a few things in there that are technically against the Dungeons & Dragons rules, but it was a great movie. I thought it was an awesome movie. Here's some of my Dungeons & Dragons stuff. I got some pirates, got some things sorted out, got some Dungeons & Dragons beasts and different things. I organize all my stuff so I could easily just pull it out and start a campaign if I needed to, set up a scene if I needed to. But that's our Dungeons & Dragons stuff there. I have collected these from a secondhand store a lot lately. These make for great Dungeons & Dragons pieces. They came with some of the 4+ sets, and they just are perfect for castle floors or whatever you may need. But I kind of got a mess over here, but there's my map. I usually put Lego things down on my grids, and then we will play from there. Let me show you my drawers over here. I don't have them labeled. I need to get my label maker out and label these guys, but you can kind of see what's in them. They're just the regular old plastic bins. I've got some Harry Potter stuff up here, different things I might use for a campaign. That's my tree drawer. A lot of my trees are gone right now because, like I said, we're playing through Sunless Citadel, so a lot of them are not in there. I got this from the Dream sets. I thought the Dream sets have been really cool for Dungeons & Dragons pieces, but I thought those could be really cool for sprites or gnomes, houses or something. Then I got some wagons down there. You can never have too many wagons with Dungeons & Dragons. So here's a few of my Dungeons & Dragons things that I've got set aside for campaigns. Thanks for watching. I wasn't planning on staying on too long. I appreciate you watching, and I'm going to try to start doing some live videos, hopefully on Monday, some short ones maybe about minifigures. We'll see. I stay pretty busy these days. But thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing that. It costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. And until next time, keep building.